As we celebrate 100 years of America's national park system this week with our exclusive interview with President Obama, it is amazing to think about how America's national parks impact so many of us. Over 300 million visitors a year to 400 park areas, many of us forever inspired by the sheer beauty that we encounter. And the top draw amongst all US national parks? The Great Smoky Mountains National Park in North Carolina and Tennessee. It pulls in over 10 million people a year. And in a moment, we'll be heading deep into the Great Smoky Mountains in the next premiere episode in our series on America's national parks. But first, some very special unfinished business. Here is part 2 of my exclusive interview with President Obama. It does appear that by and large, young people don't go outdoors anymore, and that there is a kind of an issue there.
Well, one of the things I'd say is that there's no part of the country where there isn't a park close by that you can use.
Yes.
And part of what we've done is to say to every 4th grader in America, you can have a card that allows you to go for free to one of our national parks, partly to get kids in the habit of saying, these parks belong to me, and that I can use them, and I can access them. Hey guys, what's going on? How you doing?
During their Yosemite visit, the President and First Lady surprised a visiting group of 4th graders and hand-delivered them their very own park annual passes.
Everybody say national parks. National parks!
But the President knows that our parks face many threats over the next generation that will make enjoying them much more difficult. 100 years ago, it was a radical idea that a branch of the federal government would look after parks. National Geographic is proud of the part that it played in helping to build public support.
Yeah.
But I wondered, the next 100 years for a place like this, because of rising temperatures, it just seems a bit more uncertain.
Well, first of all, National Geographic helps open up the eyes of people across the country about the wonders of the natural world. It sparked people's imaginations, and it still does. And that's critically important. But what we do know now is we only have one planet, and climate change is probably the biggest threat, not only to natural wonders like this, but to the well-being of billions of people. And part of why it's so important for us to raise awareness with the general public is that this is a solvable problem. And if we really apply ourselves in American ingenuity, we can lead the world and ultimately stop the rise of temperatures that could have a devastating impact on a place like Yosemite. It's going to require ordinary folks, though, regardless of political affiliation, to say, this is something we need to pay attention to. And if we want to make sure that our grandkids and our great-grandkids can see this stuff, we've got to do our business now.
And then to further emphasize those points, the President made an impassioned speech in front of the iconic granite cliffs at Yosemite with a call to action.
As we look ahead in the coming years and decades, rising temperatures could mean no more glaciers at Glacier National Park. No more Joshua trees at Joshua Tree National Park. And that's not the America I want to pass on to the next generation. That's not the legacy I think any of us want to leave behind. What a worthy investment. What a precious thing we have to pass on to the next generation. Let's make that happen.
For more on the President's trip to Yosemite and a sneak peek of the first virtual reality ever created with the President, go to natgeo.com/parksvr. But now, stay tuned for a special premiere presentation of America's national parks, the Great Smoky Mountains.